So here's the new rig. I just wanted to go over some of the reasons why I chose this particular bike and some of the components and features it has. So just a little back story. I had a Jamis Dakar full suspension mountain bike that I built up from a frame and existing components, and sold that about 2 years ago. It was 26-inch wheels. It was pretty heavy. It was set up for an all-mountain style riding, 120 millimeter Marzucci front shocks. Great bike, just heavy and not a great climber, and built more for all mountain. Around here where I live now, it's more single track with decent sized drop offs and jumps, but definitely more XC style than all mountain. So anyways, I am a Specialized fan. If anyone of you have seen my other video, this is my LA comp mid compact that is my road bike, and I really enjoy it. So I decided to stick with Specialized. I did look at some Trek models and was interested in the Excalibur 8, I believe, but like I said, I am partial to Specialized. I do like their frames and the components that they put on their entry-level to mid-level bikes. So started looking around and decided that I like the Rockhopper. Specifically at my local bike shop, I was looking at a Rockhopper comp, 2017 Rockhopper comp. Some of the reasons I liked that particular bike is of course the price point, but it also had a 2x10 drivetrain instead of a triple up front, which a lot of the entry-level to mid entry-level bikes have a triple up front, which just not needed. So that one did have a double. Actually, I believe it's a 2x9, not a 2x10 on that particular bike. And it also had a air spring shock. It was an RST, I believe, or Suntour, can't remember. But in any case, just after some reading, I decided that an air shock, would be a better choice as far as lightness goes. And so anyways, I went to look at that bike at my local bike store, and unfortunately they have already started carrying 2018 models of Specialized bikes. And what happened is Specialized is now de-speccing their Rockhoppers and basically making them just pure entry-level bikes. And their Chisel is kind of their new go-to hardtail that's kind of the mid to expert price range. And so what that means is the 2018 Rockhopper comp now comes with an expert. Actually, the entire line comes with a triple up front. They've de-specced the fork and some of the other components. So with that said, I decided to test drive the Chisel, even though it was way out of my price point. And while it was an awesome bike, it was just too expensive. But what I took from it is the sizing, the frame sizing. I'm 6'3", 225, so I'm a big guy. But I always kind of like a smaller size frame just for, I feel like I'm in more control of the smaller size bike. And so what they had there was a 20.5-inch frame, so large for the Chisel. And it felt great. So I decided that I was going to look for a large size Rockhopper, and came across a listing on Craigslist for a one-time used 2017 Rockhopper Expert, which you see in front of you now. And so what's awesome about this bike is that I basically, Craigslist, so you can work the price. I got this bike for less than what I would have paid for a comp, brand new, and a 2017, of course. Now that is one thing. The 2018s have gone down in price, but again, de-speccing the components is the reason why. So in this particular situation, I got this bike for less than what I would have paid for a 2017 comp, Rockhopper comp. And some of the features or components on this bike that make it that much better Then the comp, definitely the fork. It's a Manitou M30, 100 millimeters of travel. It's an air spring. I've never had a Manitou before. I've always had RockShox or Marzucci. My wife's old mountain bike had a Suntour, which was terrible. But this, so far, I'm impressed with the shock. I did add some more air to it for my rider weight, but it has one of the features I really like is this remote lockout, which is controlled up here. That will lock it out. So when you're climbing, it locks out the rebound. It's a pretty plush fork. It's got a rebound adjustment on the bottom, but definitely a better quality fork than I believe it's an RST that comes on the 2017 comp. So that was one nice feature this bike would have over the comp. The other one is the external bearing bottom bracket. This technology has been around a while on mountain bikes, but of course, you know, de-speccing the components, you're going to get an internal threaded bottom bracket. The external seems to be tougher and lasts longer and easier to deal with. So that was definitely a nice feature that I wasn't expecting to have. Another, of course, you're going to get the upgraded components because this is a higher level bike. You have SRAM X5 front derailleur, which I actually had on my Jamis. It's a good quality front derailleur, and this has the Diori Shadow SLX rear derailleur, and it has Diori trigger shifters up there. It has better Shimano hydraulic brakes. It's a one level up as far as the brake components go. It's got you know, your typical 180 millimeter rotor in the front, 160 in the back. It is a 20 by 10 drivetrain, so it's got one extra gear in the back, one extra cog in the back. Otherwise, I believe I mean, most of the other stuff is going to be the same as the comp. It's going to have the same stout XC 29-inch wheels, the same ground control tires. I believe it's the same Stout, which is the Specialized house brand crankset, and the frame is going to be the same, and you know seat post and seat, and although I think this one might have lock-on grips and the comp doesn't. But anywho, it's you know, it's going to be more the components that are upgraded on this versus the comp. But again, for 2018, they're de-speccing these bikes and making them purely entry level. So this one, while you know, this one is called Rockhopper Expert. I'd say it's entry. It's a mid-level bike. It's mid-level. I've ridden it 3 or 4 times so far. A couple of small local trails and a little further away, a bigger, longer trail with, like I said, some nice drop-offs. And the bike's been awesome. One of the things that I was most impressed about this bike is its climbing ability. Amazing. Just a beast climbing hills. So much better than the full suspension Jamis I had. It's probably about 10 pounds lighter than the Jamis too, which helps. The 29-inch wheels, of course, help, you know, just roll over roots and, you know, take jumps a lot better. An interesting thing about this fork too, I forgot to mention, is this rear sanction. It's kind of odd. It almost looks like they're on backwards, but that's how it's supposed to be. Typically you'd have the sanction running across the front there. I believe it's called a sanction. It might be called something else, cross brace or whatever, but it's kind of interesting looking. It's different. The only thing I've changed so far, I mean, I put on the guard there to prevent chain slap against the frame, but I did replace the stem with this FSA, and it's a 20 millimeter longer stem. That was just, again, I'm 6'3", so on a large frame I wanted to stretch out a little bit more, and looking at the specs, the chisel had a slightly longer stem on it than the Rockhopper. And so the way I have it set up now with the geometry, it's pretty close to the chisel. It feels, like I said, it feels perfect size for me. And it's been a great riding bike so far. I've really enjoyed hitting the trails again. I love road biking, but you know, you always need to change it up here and there. I love the color too. Might be not for everyone. I believe it's called lime green. I don't know, neon lime green or something like that. But I enjoy it. I did put SPD pedals on it too. It comes with just nylon pedals, so I got these just entry level Shimano double-sided SPD pedals. That's about it. It's like I said, been impressed with it so far, and the climbing, like I said, the climbing ability of this bike is just insane. I love it. Just makes it so much more fun to ride because you're not killing yourself on the climbs. You know, being the size I am, you know, I don't want to spend my time, or I should say, I don't want to be completely killing myself on the hills climbing and then not have no energy for, you know, fun little jumps and downhills and stuff. So this bike has helped in that area, and really enjoyed it so far, and hopefully I'll be able to give an update on it after I get, you know, a bunch of more rides on it. I'd love to get my GoPro going again so I can maybe do a trail video of it. But yeah, if anyone has any questions about this particular bike, just let me know. I'll try to answer what I know about it. Hopefully I give you some good information, and if you're in the market for it, I'd highly suggest it. So there it is. Peace out. What's up, everyone? Oh shit. That was awesome.